The first time the millionaire collapsed in his own living room, no one noticed, except the man holding a mop. Sunlight poured through tall glass windows, painting the marble floor gold, while the richest man in the city sat in silence, pale and shaking, pretending nothing was wrong. For years, doctors had failed him, treatments had failed him, and money had failed him. But on that quiet morning, a cleaning single dad named Rayan Cole saw something everyone else had ignored, and it would change all their lives forever. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of ordinary people to do extraordinary things, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Kindora Life. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Rayan Cole never imagined his life would shrink to borrowed time and minimum wage work. Once he had dreams of becoming a nurse, dreams that died the day his wife passed away suddenly, leaving him alone with a 6-year-old son and a mountain of bills. Daytime became his battlefield. He worked cleaning offices, homes, and luxury estates while his son stayed at school, always racing the clock to be there for pickup. He smiled at people who never learned his name, carried pain in silence, and believed survival itself was a form of courage. The mansion he cleaned belonged to Alistair Vaughan, a self-made millionaire whose wealth was legendary and whose illness was whispered about in hushed tones. For nearly 7 years, Alistair had been sick. Chronic fatigue, blackouts, trembling hands, sharp chest pains. The best doctors flew in from other countries, private hospitals were booked, experimental treatments tried. Nothing worked. His body kept failing him slowly, cruelly, like a clock counting down. Most of the staff treated Alistair like fragile glass or avoided him entirely. Rayan didn't. He couldn't afford fear. As he cleaned during the day, he noticed things others overlooked. The untouched food trays, the pills that changed every month. The way Alistair's hands shook more after drinking water than after climbing stairs. The faint chemical smell in the air near the study. Small details, but Rayan had learned long ago that details mattered. His late wife had died because doctors missed one. One afternoon, while mopping the study floor, Rayan noticed Alistair slumped in his chair, eyes open but unfocused. The room was bright with daylight, curtains drawn wide, birds audible outside. Alistair's breathing was shallow. The intercom sat inches from his hand, untouched. Rayan rushed forward, steadying him, calling for help. Alistair survived that episode, but something lodged deep in Rayan's mind that day, a pattern he couldn't unsee. Over the following weeks, Rayan paid closer attention. Alistair's symptoms spiked after spending time in certain rooms. The headaches came after long mornings indoors. His skin tone worsened after drinking from specific glass bottles. Rayan began to suspect not disease, but exposure. Poison wasn't dramatic or fast like in movies. Sometimes it was slow, sometimes it wore a friendly face. Rayan wrestled with fear. Who was he to question doctors? Who would believe a cleaner? He needed this job. His son needed school fees, food, a future. But every time Alistair staggered, every time Rayan imagined his own child growing up without a parent, his silence felt heavier. One bright daytime morning, Rayan did the unthinkable. He gathered samples, water from the study, dust from vents, residue from cleaning products used only in certain rooms. Using his old nursing textbooks and a borrowed testing kit from a community clinic, he confirmed what his instinct screamed. The levels were toxic, not lethal at once, but devastating over time. Rayan requested a private meeting. Security nearly laughed him out, but Alistair, exhausted and desperate, agreed. What followed wasn't anger but disbelief. Then fear. Then truth. Investigations uncovered contaminated ventilation filters installed years earlier by a trusted contractor who had been cutting corners with industrial-grade chemicals. No one questioned it because money flowed and paperwork looked clean. Slowly, silently, Alistair had been poisoned in his own home. Treatment changed immediately. Rooms were sealed, filters replaced. Alistair moved to clean air environments. Within weeks, the tremors eased. But the real transformation wasn't physical. Alistair learned who saved him. Not a specialist, not wealth, a single dad with a mop and a conscience. Alistair paid off Rayon's debts, funded his education, and offered him a permanent role overseeing health and safety across his properties. Rayon refused luxury, but accepted stability. His son watched his father come home earlier, smile more, breathe easier. Near the end of this story, if it's touching your heart even a little, please pause and engage with this video. Like it, comment, and share it, so more people remember that compassion can come from the least expected places. Alistair now spends his mornings outside, soaking in sunlight he once feared he'd never feel again. Ryan walks beside him sometimes, not as an employee, but as a man who chose courage over comfort. Their lives crossed not by fate but by choice, the choice to care, to observe, to speak. Before the final moment, please comment below, do you believe kindness still has the power to save lives? Within months, he could walk unaided. For the first time in years, he felt alive in daylight, not fading in shadows.